Okay, so what we're going to be doing today, right now, is we're going to work down these tips or these nocks so that they're fitting better on the shafts. What I did, I glued these nocks in with epoxy, two-part epoxy, and when the epoxy dries, you could see that it filled in, the small gaps that were left around the bone and the wood fitting. It fit pretty flush, but there are some small gaps there. But if you use the epoxy, it'll harden up really hard and fill in those little gaps and make a better, tighter fit. So what I'm going to do now is shape these nocks to where they're the same diameter pretty much as the shaft, and then from there we're going to cut them down to size and then cut the notch in them. So what we're going to do is take it to the belt sander here and get that done. Alright, so there's how it looks. You can see that it's worked down to the same thickness. There's a little bit of lip right here, but we'll finish that up later. I like to leave the nocks slightly flared at the end, so it'll give you something to grab onto as you draw the arrow back. But pretty much just gonna continue cleaning up this area and get these nocks cut down to size. It'll probably be about that long, so we're going to cut off about half an inch of this bone, and then we'll put the nock in after. So I'm going to finish up the other two arrows that I got left, and then we'll turn the video back on. Okay, Kashtuk Bowcraft back again. So as you can see, we've got the nocks tapered down to the same diameter as the shafts, and so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut them down to size, and I've already made marks about the length that I want them. I didn't measure them. I just eyeballed it as far as how tall I want to make them, and I'm going to cut these down and then cut out the nocks for the string. I made them a little bit longer than I wanted to make them because just in case I chip it or something, I have a little bit of room to work with. So they'll probably be about 1/8 of an inch shorter than what you see here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get these tips cut down to size. Just going to do it really quick with the bandsaw, and then I will cut the nocks out, the string groove, with a Dremel tool. Okay, Kashtuk Bowcraft back again. You can see that I went and cut the nocks in, cleaned up the nock itself a little bit nicer. what I did, I flattened out, I don't know if you can see that, but I flattened out the top and the bottom part of the nock so that when you grip the arrow, you know, you don't feel a great big protrusion there. And slightly rounded off the top here too. So that's how these nocks look. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other two arrows, and then we'll film it after we're done. That's not my best work, but they'll do. So anyway, there's the first nock. We'll get the other two done right now. Okay, here's the second one I'm going to do. Before I do it, I just wanted to show you guys. I just drew a line here where I want the nock, the arrow, or the string notch to be, the string groove. And basically, what I'm going to do is just cut them out with this Dremel tool. I've got two blades on the chuck here, and they're just wide enough to be able to cut it and leave it narrow enough so that the string won't be too loose. What I'm going to do is try to cut it as straight as I can, and then I'll have a piece of sandpaper wrapped around a little ice cream stick here, and then I'll sand out the groove and make it fit my practice string. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these last two now, and show you how they look when we're all done. Okay, so we've got the nocks pretty much done. You can see that they're worked down to pretty much the same diameter as the shaft. I've got the arrow grooves cut in, and like I said before, I flattened the tops and the bottoms of them, and they look pretty good. Just some final finish sanding, and I'm going to polish these up really nice, and then we'll put some linseed oil on them to bring out some of the natural color. But for all intents and purposes, these nocks are pretty much done. The string fits really nice on them. So what we're going to do now is cut the grooves for the arrowhead. Okay, so that's going to be the next step.